In today's video, I will be installing SSD brass wheel rings in my SCX10 version 2. Now of course, the exact vehicle that you're installing the wheel rings into doesn't really matter. What really matters is the width of the rings that came out of the wheels to begin with. I've already done the install on the front wheels, so I have this extra ring to measure. And what you want to measure is the full width of the ring. And as you can see, we are looking at right about 826 thousandths, which comes out to just a hair under 21 millimeter. So these SSD wheel rings meant for 21.5 millimeter width are going to be really close, so they'll work for our application. The next thing that you're going to want to consider is exactly how much weight you're adding to each corner of your vehicle. These stock aluminum rings are really light, so we'll get a weight on them first. Go ahead and turn on the scale, make sure it's zeroed out. We'll be measuring in grams. And the aluminum wheel looks to be 26.7 grams. So now we're going to go ahead and break open this package and measure one of the brass rings. Now remember, we were 26.7 grams for the stock ring. I can tell you already this is a lot heavier just by feeling it. And we're looking at 93.3. That's an increase of 66.6 grams per corner, which means the overall weight of the vehicle is going to be increased by almost 0.6 of a pound. This weight being reeled down low in the wheels and being unsprung weight is really going to help the vehicle stick to the terrain a lot better when doing steep climbs or side hilling. Now all that's left is the installation. As far as tools, all you're going to need is something to get your tire off, which is probably just going to be a 7mm nut driver. In my case, I'm also going to need a 2mm scale hardware tool. And then you're going to need tools to disassemble your beadlock wheel. In this case, that's just going to be a 2.5mm hex driver. Other than that, you're just going to need a little bit of Loctite to use when reassembling the wheels if you happen to have aluminum beadlocks. And then, of course, your new ring to install. So let's go ahead and crack into the disassembly. On these particular beadlock wheels, disassembly is accomplished just by removing 5 screws on the back side of the wheel. Next, you're just going to want to pop out the front face of the wheel. You can do that just by pressing with your thumbs. Be a little bit careful as you do this. Some of these aluminum features are really sharp from the machining, and I've actually taken a pretty good gouge out of my thumb before doing that, so take a little bit of caution, make sure your thumbs aren't near anything sharp, and just go ahead and press out that wheel face. Set that to the side, and then you can turn the wheel over and press out the back part of the beadlock. And then you can actually remove the beadlock ring itself from inside the tire. Then we'll take our new brass ring and just slip it inside of the tire. Go ahead and insert it sideways first and then rotate it into place if you like. Stretch the tire a little bit. Make sure you're stretching and moving things carefully so you don't just end up bunching up the foam. And then you're going to want to go around and make sure the beadlock ring is centered on the foam and it's not pinching any part of the tire's actual bead there. It's a little bit lopsided at the moment, so I'll center it up real quick. It's also a great opportunity to upgrade your foams while it's all apart, but there's something to be said for upgrading parts one at a time, so you can really see the difference of each modification. So there's the beadlock ring installed. Now all you have to do is reverse the disassembly process. Start by inserting the back ring, and I'm going to set up the tires the same way as they were, so this side is on the outside, just so that the weathering and wear and tear matches the others. It's a little detail, it doesn't really matter, but I'll do it anyways. And then you'll line up the face. You want to make sure you line it up so that your screw holes are aligned. You don't want them to be a little bit off and then just twist it to line up, because then you're going to be twisting the rubber of the tire and it's going to be under tension all the time and it's just going to be a lot harder on your tire. It's better to line it up straight in the first place. As you can see, we've got things lined up pretty good there. So you're just going to want to go ahead and get a little bit of Loctite on each of your screws and go ahead and bolt the wheel back together. And that's all there is to it. If you're not filming like I was, each wheel should take you no more than 5 minutes, meaning that this installation, which is going to make a huge improvement on the performance of your vehicle, should take you less than 20 minutes and only about $50 US. Hopefully this video was helpful if you've never cracked into working on your RC yourself or never disassembled a set of beadlocks. As you can see, it's really easy. It just takes a couple of tools. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and thank you for watching.